Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your reading for the weeks of September the 10th through the 23rd, 2024. This is a reading if you are Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising, or have other Gemini placements in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back. I always do a full 12-card astrological spread, 13 with the one in the center. I use Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche deck, and then I will clarify with tarot. This week we are using the Mythic Tarot by Julia Sharman Burke. And if I can reach over here, we have our Oracle deck, which I haven't popped out of its box yet. But our Oracle deck is going to be the Gateway Oracle by Denise Linn. So let's get started on your reading. I did just want to mention, if you want to know more about the readings that I do, or about any of the services that I provide, or if you want to follow my social media where I do a daily live stream in which I also do a daily tarot reading, please check the description box below. Okay, so Gemini, your reading is really quite interesting today. First house, you've got the High Priestess with Sphinx. Now, this is the house of you and how you're presenting yourself. So you are definitely being secretive at this point in time. Sphinx is somebody who is kind of this is you being more passive rather than active. And this is also has a very strong air of secrecy to it, as does the High Priestess. So this could be a time when you are doing a lot of inner work, when you are delving a little bit more into yourself. And also, as part of this, I feel like you are also, you're not, whatever kind of inner work you're doing, you're not necessarily sharing it with a lot of people. Now I'm looking over here at your 11th house of friendships. This kind of caught my eye because I have Horus here with the Hermit. And the Hermit does seem to indicate that you have been, you as a Gemini is a very friendly and outgoing kind of a sign. However, what I'm seeing here is somebody who's doing a lot of introspective work, and somebody maybe who wants a retreat or a time out. Now, again, with Horus, it's not that there is a lack of friendship here, because this is certainly a card of friendship and making friends in the 11th house. So this isn't, so much that you are fighting with anybody or disconnecting in that kind of a way, but it does seem like you are taking a time out. I think also this may be that you're taking a time out for some healing. Horus does have a lot to do with healing, both could be physical healing, could be spiritual healing, mental healing, whatever it is. And it's also quite possible that you are spending some time with friends and so forth. Maybe friends have been, maybe there's just certain friends you're talking to who have been helping you with that process in some way. That could be the case, or that could be where your connections are coming in. But it does feel like you are going through a lot of healing right now, and you are trying to learn a lot of things about yourself. Now, this is interesting because I do feel like there is a chance for you to, money looks good here. You've got the Earth card in the house of Taurus, okay? So this is often a sign, if money has been tight, this is a sign that money is coming in. Now, with the Ace of Cups, this indicates something new, some kind of a new beginning or a new start that's going to bring financial success, or at least some kind of security here. An Ace of Cups is has a strong emotional vibe to it. So I don't know if you're starting something new, if there's a new job doing something that you love, or there just seems to be something new connected to your finances, something that you're trying to do or working towards that feels new here. And for some of you, this is going to be a new job. But for others, this could just be, I don't know, there's just some change that you're making. And whatever it is, this change feels like it's something that's connected to your finances, and that it affects them in a positive way. So it does seem like there's something that's going to be bringing abundance in. So if money has been an issue lately, it does seem that there's some new possibilities here for income for you. Now, this is, okay, we've got triple Gemini going on here. Now, I know you are Gemini, but we've got the Gemini house, which is the third house, okay? This goes Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Okay, you have the twins, okay? Gemini is the twins, right? And you also have the lovers, which is the card of Gemini. So, yeah, so you have this, and this has to do a lot with choices. So, okay, this is, being the Gemini house is the house of communication. Definitely seems like, what we're saying here, that you're kind of taking a time out from certain things, But it doesn't mean that there aren't communications that are going on, or at the very least that there aren't choices that you are going to be making. when you have this much of this kind of energy here, I feel like there are decisions that you are making and that perhaps you are negotiating right now. These could be decisions that could be connected to work. For some people, these could be decisions connected to business. For some of you, this could be communication. I mean, there could be a love element to this. I have to look over at the love houses. I mean, right now, I'm not strongly seeing something happening in the love houses. I feel like there's still something that's ending, like a cycle that's ending and something new that's beginning. So I'm not strongly necessarily seeing this about love in spite of the presence of the lovers here. But I feel like there are decisions that you're making. And maybe there's even choices that you're making about who you're going to communicate with and who you're not. Because like I said, showing up in the Gemini house, there's definitely a look at your connections here and the decisions that you are making about them. So interesting here. Because I could also interpret this as you're doing a lot of communicating, but there's a whole lot here that seems to indicate that you are kind of hanging back and taking a little bit of a time out. Now, this is also interesting because I'm noticing you have the Ace of Cups in the second house, which is your house of your own finances. Your house of joint finances, you have an Ace of Swords, which is the one directly opposite. Second and eighth house are directly opposite each other, and this is the Scorpio house. And yeah, this brings powerful new beginnings as well and new thought. We have it with Isis. And again, that's very akin to the High Priestess energy. And you're getting this in the eighth house. So I don't know. Some of you may be going more deeply into things. You may be more intuitive. This definitely suggests something compassionate. Sometimes there's energy around the mother connected to this card. So if that resonates. But this is definitely a situation in which you are sort of patiently persevering with something. And this is also about opening up emotionally. So these seem to be new thoughts about your emotions and about your feelings, and about how you're opening up. But again, the fact that I'm seeing two aces in the money house makes me think that either there's a new way that you're looking at your financial situation, or there's actually something new that's going to be happening for you. Either way, this is definitely showing a new beginning of some kind. New thinking, new emotional satisfaction, and these are in your houses connected to security and also to family, legacy, and things like that. And yeah, I don't know. For some of you, this actually what's coming into my head, for some of you, this could be a new way of thinking about your relationship to your mother or to your family. And I don't know if this is also going to connect in with finances, because the eighth house can have to do with inheritances, legacies, and family money or joint finances of some kind. So it's grabbing my attention that there are two aces in the houses of finance. So yeah, this definitely suggests some kind of a new beginning, and it may not just be about you and your money that you earn with your job. It may be connected to something else. So anyway, just to see that. I should also note that the third house here where I'm seeing this is the house of siblings. So I don't know if this is also decisions that are connected to something with brothers and sisters, if you have brothers and sisters, if that even applies. But there's just a strong energy here of, I don't know, there definitely seems to be a connection or collaboration, possibly for business for some of you, or some kind of relationship thing that you're sorting out, but there's definitely choices that you're making here. So really, really quite interesting energy that I'm seeing right now. Oh, and you have another ace, and this is in your house of home and family. You've got almost all four aces. You've got 3 out of the 4. The only one you don't have is the Ace of Wands. You have all the other ones. You have the Ace of Pentacles here. And you've got this pyramid, this time will resolve all kind of a card, or something that's going to take time. So something connected to a home situation. It looks like there's going to be a new beginning, a new financial beginning. I don't know if this is going to be a move for some of you. I don't know if this is going to be working from home or something like that. I don't know. But there's definitely, again, there's this essence of something new with regard to your security. But again, with pyramid, whatever this thing that is new, there still seems like there's something that's going to be built up over time, or that's going to take some time. So this change, it may take a while for this change to happen, but it does seem like there is some kind of a change that is afoot for you here. So take that as it resonates for you. Okay, with regard to work, I'm going to go to that next. Okay, in the house of health, you have Sirius with the Empress. So, okay, between these two cards, I feel like there is a focus on a diet and exercise here. Okay, Empress has a lot to do, can have to do with, nutrition and things like that. This is a card of abundance, as you can see. She's got, she's standing here in the wheat fields gathering wheat. There's a lot, this is strong Taurus energy, and that often has to do with nourishment. And Sirius definitely has to do with physical exercise. So I feel like there's going to be more attention to diet and exercise right now. I don't know if you've been having health issues, because this is the house of also of health. But yeah, I do feel like you're having more of a focus on yourself and more on maybe on getting yourself into good physical health and good physical shape. With regard to a job, again, Empress would bring, this is another strong mother card, but there's definitely a strong sense of prosperity that comes with the Empress. Again, planting seeds. The fact that you also have all these Pentacle cards, if this has to do with work, then this could have to do with you planting seeds for something new, or bringing creativity into a situation. I mean, and with Sirius here, this would be thinking outside the box. So I would suggest that if there are those of you, if there is going to be a new situation, or maybe if you're looking for a new job or something like that, this would be telling you to think outside of the box. Plant the seeds for what it is that you want. Now, in terms of your career, you've got the Two of Wands with Bast. So this is interesting. Two of Wands to me seems to indicate that you are at a threshold. I mean, you've accomplished a lot. The Two of Wands, this is showing the beginning of, this is to do with Jason and the Argonauts, but the Two of Wands traditionally is somebody who's standing there with the world in their hands. So there's the idea that you have made a good start at something, or that you have the resources in hand. Now you have to make a decision. And it's interesting that we're seeing all this decision energy in the third house, because this could be decisions. I mean, I'm saying this could be family, but this could also be a job. There's new beginnings happening in a bunch of different places for you, Gemini, with regards to your money, with regards to your home. I mean, general life changes here. There's this sense here of deciding where you're going to go next, who you're going to work with next. I mean, you're putting a lot of thought into this with the Hermit here. And you have Bast here. So Bast is the happiness card. I think there's a lot of thought, a lot of decisions around what is going to make you happy. And what's going to, and for what are you going to be recognized? I mean, Bast can have a creative edge to it as well. I mean, so we could be talking about you doing something creative. And when I say creative, it doesn't necessarily mean like art or music or writing books or things. It could be those things. It doesn't have to be. Bast is often associated with music and dancing, but it does not have to be any of that. It can just be you trying to find your network, to find the right people to get you where. I don't want to make it sound so utilitarian. It's not so much that people who you can like get you to where you want to be, but kind of being with the people who are going to recognize you for what your value is. Okay, and the Two of Wands here. I mean, yeah, there's the idea. I mean, we have Chiron in the background here. I mean, and then of course we think about Chiron and Aries too, but Chiron in this case, this is more the centaur who is like the teacher, you know. So and Jason is sort of like the prodigy student about to go out into the world. And so I feel like it's kind of like taking what you learned and being recognized for what it is that you know and what you learn. So I feel like you are giving things a think, as they say, and making some new decisions about things. But this is going to require you to think creatively and think a little bit differently about stuff. There's a whole lot here. Everything is, if I may use the phrase, pregnant with possibility. I don't mean that in a literal sense, but there's a lot of possibility. You are right now learning new things about yourself, and you are really thinking hard about your life situations and your decisions, maybe even the relationships that you have right now. There's a lot of decision making going on for you right now, Gemini, and you're still trying to sort all this out. Now, this is interesting. We were seeing all these beginning cards in the house connected to love affairs. Okay, we have Nephthys, so this seems to indicate with the World, there's the idea that something is being brought to a conclusion. Okay, so this one is about an ending. The World says, that we are, that something has stopped, something has come to an end, and it's actually something that has come to a successful end. So this could be a project you finished. I mean, that's another possibility of this house. But I feel more like this could be a relationship that has finally ended. But it's not an ending that is a bitter, cynical, hateful, betrayed, stabbed in the back kind of ending. This is more like a satisfying ending. And you kind of finishing up an old cycle so that you can begin anew. That said, with Nephthys, But where that new cycle is going to take you is not clear right now. It's like, for whatever reason, it's not the time for this. Or there's just elements to a situation, like let's just say there's someone you're interested in. Sometimes the world indicates you may be interested in somebody who's abroad or far away. But this may not be something that's materializing right now. There may be certain obstacles that are just not clear right now. So all you can do right now is kind of wait and see what happens. Now, if we look at the seventh house, which is the house of relationship, yeah, we have water. We have a situation that's kind of unfixed right now, and we have it with the Five of Wands. So this generally indicates a struggle, like you're competing with someone or something. I mean, it could be that that you have a lot, there's somebody you're interested in, that there's a lot of competition for this person, or you could be competing with some other aspect. This person could be, for instance, this person could be a very busy person. And so, you may be struggling with them being more focused on their work than they are on you, for instance, or something like that. There's definitely a sense here that, or there's a sense that there's other people involved, and they may be muddying the water, so to speak. So I don't know. There's something that's going on here. If you are already married or in a relationship, again, there could be the idea that there are outside influences, whether these are relatives, friends, whether there's somebody else getting involved who just doesn't need to be there. This could be a little bit of a time of change. At best, this would be a kind of a relationship that's stagnated. This would indicate movement again, like things moving, emotions flowing, perhaps, talking out feelings and things. But it does also feel like there's somebody meddling who doesn't belong here too. So, but the Five of Wands is not a real serious thing. This is not as serious as some of the other fives, I think. It's more like competitiveness, but it's not something that is life-threatening or terrible. So I feel like, and that may be also why you're trying to separate from some people here. Maybe there's certain relationships you're trying to establish, and you feel that other people are meddling or getting involved, and maybe you're just like, okay, I want those people kind of out of my space. That could be what we're looking at here. Okay, now this is interesting. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords. That's what I was looking at. Okay, I found this interesting because in the ninth house, that's opposite your third house. Okay, so I always look at the houses in terms of their opposites. You have, like I said, you have the twins and the lovers down here. And now in the ninth house, opposite, this is about, this is a little bit about more superficial communication and thought. This is about short distance travel. This is the Sagittarius house, which is about deep thought, expansion, and long distance travel. And right now, things are not moving. You've got Lotus with the Two of Swords. But again, what I find interesting is this other two element here. You've got a two element here. You've got a two element with regard to your job and work. And then you've got these choice elements here. In addition to new beginnings, there are a lot of choices to be made right now, Gemini. Now, right now, in terms of expanding your horizons, maybe if you're thinking of traveling, or if you're thinking of going back to school, or if you're thinking of doing something, you may be kind of at a point where you're stuck right now. Like this is a card of peace, and so is this. So there's the idea that, things are peaceful here. It's not that things are bad. You may be learning things, you may be doing things, or you just may be taking a timeout and a break. Again, there's a lot here about taking a break and a timeout. But it's kind of like right now, things aren't getting better. They're not getting worse. I mean, they're just kind of where they are. And maybe you are just looking to, you're not necessarily looking to expand your horizons a whole lot right now. You're kind of satisfied where you are, or at least right now you're just saying, look, I just want to worry about where I am right now. But this will change. When we see the Two of Swords, there's definitely a sense that a decision at some point has to be made. But again, it's interesting that I'm seeing this in light of you learning new information about yourself, examining your friendships, examining who needs to be involved in your relationship situations, whether these relationships are love relationships or not, who's meddling uninvited. And it seems like there's some decisions you're making about your career, potentially your career, home, and finances. Like there's all these new beginnings, and there's all these decisions that you're going to have to make about where you're going next. That's really interesting that all this is coming up. And a lot of it right now is just telling you to focus on your happiness and to try to think differently. Don't do things the same old way. Now, Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn right now. That may be why a lot of this stuff is coming up, because it may be going back to some issues connected to work, or just connected to things that are connected to Capricorn energy, which is 10th house energy. I mean, that does have to often do with career and job and legacy. It's Saturn energy, so it's things that take a long time. It's things where you do persistent, hard work at something. There may be a different way to do things. Certainly Sirius down here is Aquarius energy, and Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius. So we are going to be challenged then to look towards the future here. Now in the 12th house, which is the Pisces energy, it's interesting because you have strong earth elements in this one. You have Hathor and you have the Knight of Pentacles. So again, there's this sense of slow and steady, trying to keep your feet on the ground. With Hathor, this is you trying to get it together, get it organized. Now Hathor has a lot to do with homemaking, establishing yourself at home, doing things that this is a very traditionally feminine card. So there's something, about domesticity and the household and so forth that is often connected to Hathor. But Hathor can also be the successful businesswoman, and that has a lot of Virgo energy, the person who is organized, who has it together. And with this, there's a very strong practical bent here, and it's showing up in your Pisces house. So I think right now, this is not you being kind of ungrounded here in that Neptunian energy. This is you trying to be very solid and trying to look at things very, very realistically. And perhaps you're having some concerns about, or maybe even some doubts, because this can be a house of self-doubt, about some of these things connected to your finances and maybe where you're going in your job and so forth. But again, you're having these concerns, but it's very clear to me that something new is about to happen here. Now, overall, yeah, you've got Urias as the overall, so it's saying things are going to take an unexpected turn. It is worth noting that during the time period of this reading, there is going to be a lunar eclipse on the 17th, okay? And with the full moon, which I'm trying to think what the full moon is in. It's in Pisces. It's a full moon in Pisces. And then there's going to be, at the new moon, there is going to be a solar eclipse on October 2nd in Libra. So yeah, we're back into eclipse season, and the vibe I have been getting for just about everybody I've been reading for is that these eclipses are going to be bringing major change. And this reading falls before the solar eclipse, but in the period of the lunar eclipse. Things are going to take a turn that you're not expecting, and it may happen very, very fast. So again, the Knight of Swords is always encouraging you to think before you act. There may be situations where you feel these decisions have to be made on the spot. Or you may be ready to charge ahead into something new. And there's nothing wrong with having the energy to move on and to charge ahead. This also could be something that you feel you have to respond to. Maybe you see this as something that is an obstacle or something that's threatening something that you're doing. Because sometimes the Knight of Swords comes in as almost this very critical kind of force. But I don't necessarily with Urias feel that. I feel like maybe there's something that appears to be this way, but Urias says, something's not what it appears to be right now. And you're best to wait and see where some of this is going before you make a decision and before you move ahead. But this is an energy that's kind of, I always feel like the Knight of Swords says, look before you leap. Things may start to change really fast. Something may come in very suddenly, but stop and consider what action you're going to take rather than just jumping or maybe even necessarily assuming something's a negative and going in with guns blazing, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, there's definitely a sense here of, there's major change coming up for you, Gemini, and a lot of decisions, and I feel like it's going to be around this eclipse stuff. Eclipse and also the autumn equinox, which is on the 22nd of September. I feel like there's a lot of strong change that's going to be connected with that as well. So like a lot of the other signs, there's big change incoming and a lot of decisions to be made. It looks like new stuff happening. I mean, you have it in your house of transformation. There's a whole lot here around new thought and having to do things a new way, making choices about work, making choices about your happiness, making choices maybe even about where you live, and maybe who you want to associate with at this point. Okay. So the card that we've pulled from the Gateway Oracle today is called Breaking Barriers. So let me tell you what this card means from the book. The universe wants you to know, don't let fear or even reason prevent you from overcoming barriers. Trust your instincts and push through. Remember to keep going and don't stop. Just as it takes effort for a chick to hatch out of its shell or a seedling to push through the hard-packed earth, this is your time to use supreme effort to break out of your own shell and reach the light. The energy of breaking through isn't always neat and tidy, so it's okay to feel messy and chaotic for a while. Eventually, the situation will sort itself out and peace will reign. So that actually makes a lot of sense if we consider the beginnings. You consider the idea of a new birth, breaking through, that there's things that you're breaking through, and as a result of you needing to break through, there's certain things you have to decide to do. Okay? So that's really interesting. It's saying, yeah, and don't let the criticism of others and don't let fear be something that gets in your way. Okay? That seems to be the message that we have here for this week. So thank you so much for watching, Gemini. I hope this reading was helpful. If you did like this reading, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about videos on this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you towards the end of the month.